Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Unleashed. I'm Ben, and today we're diving into a topic that I know many of you have been asking about: making friends in America. Whether you're an international student, a new immigrant, or simply someone looking to expand their social circle in an English-speaking environment, this video is going to give you the practical tools you need to build meaningful connections. You know, I've taught English for over a decade now, and one thing I've noticed is that my students often master grammar and vocabulary, but still struggle with the social aspects of language. They can ace a test, but when it comes to striking up a conversation at a coffee shop or joining a group at a community event, they freeze up. That's because making friends isn't just about knowing English. It's about understanding the cultural context and having the right phrases at your fingertips for different social situations. Today, I'm going to share with you the exact phrases that work in real American social settings. These aren't textbook expressions that nobody actually uses. These are the genuine, natural phrases that Americans use every day to connect with each other. We'll cover everything from breaking the ice with strangers to deepening friendships over time. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete toolkit for navigating American social situations with confidence. Understanding American social culture. Before we jump into specific phrases, let's talk about the American approach to friendship. Americans are often described as friendly, but not necessarily deep in their initial interactions. This can be confusing for people from cultures where friendship develops more slowly but runs deeper from the start. In America, we tend to be open and chatty with strangers, but that doesn't automatically mean we're becoming close friends. Understanding this distinction will help you navigate social situations more effectively. Americans value what we call small talk, those light, casual conversations about weather, sports, or current events. While this might seem superficial to some, it's actually an important social lubricant that helps people feel comfortable with each other. Think of small talk as the appetizer before the main course of deeper conversation. You wouldn't skip straight to dessert at a dinner party, and similarly, you shouldn't skip straight to heavy topics when meeting someone new. Another key aspect of American social culture is the concept of personal space and boundaries. Americans generally appreciate directness, but there's a fine line between being friendly and being intrusive. The phrases I'll teach you today respect these cultural boundaries while still allowing you to make genuine connections. They're designed to open doors without forcing them open, if that makes sense. Breaking the ice. First contact phrases. Let's start with the most nerve-wracking part for many people: initiating that first conversation. The beauty of American culture is that there are so many acceptable ways to start talking to someone new. You don't need a formal introduction or a specific reason. Sometimes, a simple observation or question is all it takes. One of my favorite ice breakers is the compliment opener. Americans genuinely appreciate sincere compliments, and they're a great way to start a positive interaction. Try something like, "I love your jacket. Where did you get it?" Or, "That's a really cool backpack. Is it good for hiking?" Notice how these compliments are followed by a question. This gives the other person an easy way to respond and continue the conversation. The key is to be genuine. Pick something you actually like or find interesting. Another effective approach is the situational comment. This works particularly well when you're both experiencing the same thing. For example, if you're both waiting in a long line, you might say, "Wow, I didn't expect such a crowd today. Have you been waiting long?" Or if you're at a community event, try, "This is my first time at one of these events. Have you been before?" These phrases work because they're relevant to the immediate situation and invite the other person to share their experience. The shared struggle approach is surprisingly effective in America. We bond over minor inconveniences and challenges. If the Wi-Fi isn't working at a coffee shop, you might turn to the person next to you and say, "Are you having trouble with the internet too? I thought it was just my laptop acting up." Or if you're both trying to figure out a confusing parking meter, "Do you know how this thing works? I feel like I need an engineering degree to park here." Americans appreciate humor in these situations, and laughing together about small frustrations can be a great bonding experience. For more structured environments like classes or workshops, the information-seeking approach works well. "Hi, I'm Ben. Is this your first time taking this class?" Or, "Excuse me, do you know if we need to bring anything specific for next week?" These phrases position you as someone who's friendly and approachable, while also serving a practical purpose. Even if the person doesn't know the answer, you've opened a channel for further conversation. Moving beyond small talk, once you've broken the ice, the next challenge is moving the conversation forward. This is where many people get stuck. They can start a conversation but don't know how to keep it going or make it more meaningful. The key is to listen actively and ask follow-up questions that show genuine interest. When someone mentions something about their life, use phrases like, "That sounds interesting. Tell me more about that." Or, "I've never heard of that before. What's it like?" These open-ended prompts encourage people to share more, while showing that you're engaged in what they're saying. Americans appreciate good listeners, and showing genuine curiosity about someone's experiences or interests is a great way to deepen a connection. Another effective technique is finding common ground. When someone mentions something you can relate to, jump on it with phrases like, "Oh, I love that too! Have you ever tried?" Or, "That reminds me of when I..." Have you had a similar experience? The key is to share something about yourself while also bringing the conversation back to them. It's a conversational dance where both people get to share and learn about each other. Don't be afraid to admit when you don't understand something. Americans generally appreciate honesty, and phrases like, "I'm not familiar with that. Could you explain it to me?" Or, "That's new to me. What does that involve?" show that you're interested in learning. This is especially useful when cultural references or local knowledge comes up that you might not be familiar with as someone new to American culture. Making plans and following through. Here's where the rubber meets the road in American friendships. It's one thing to have a nice conversation, but transforming that into an actual friendship requires making plans and following through. Americans have a reputation for being flaky, with casual acquaintances, so being someone who actually follows through will set you apart. When you feel a connection with someone, don't be afraid to suggest a specific plan. Vague statements like, "We should hang out sometime," rarely lead anywhere. Instead, try, "I really enjoyed talking with you. Would you like to grab coffee next Tuesday afternoon?" Or, there's a great taco place downtown I've been wanting to try. Want to check it out together this weekend? The specificity shows that you're serious about spending time together. If the person seems interested, but can't commit to your specific suggestion, have a backup ready. No worries if Tuesday doesn't work. What day would be better for you? Or, if tacos aren't your thing, I'm open to other ideas. What kind of food do you like? This flexibility shows that you're interested in spending time with them specifically, not just filling your social calendar. Americans appreciate when you remember details from previous conversations. If someone mentioned they had a big presentation coming up, follow up with, "Hey, how did your presentation go last week?" If they talked about trying a new restaurant, ask, "Did you end up going to that Thai place you mentioned?" These follow-ups show that you were actually listening and care about their life. Navigating group situations. Group dynamics in America can be different from other cultures. Americans tend to be inclusive in social settings, and there are specific phrases that can help you integrate into group conversations smoothly. When approaching a group, timing is everything. Wait for a natural pause in the conversation, then use phrases like, "Mind if I join you?" Or, "Hey everyone, I'm Ben. Hope I'm not interrupting anything." Once you're in a group conversation, contributing without dominating is key. Use phrases like, "That reminds me of," to share relevant experiences, or "I had a similar situation where," to relate to what others are saying. If you want to add to someone's point, try building on what Sarah just said, or "I love that point about. It makes me think of." These phrases show you're engaged with the group dynamic, rather than just waiting for your turn to talk. When you need to leave a group conversation, Americans appreciate a smooth exit. Don't just disappear. Use phrases like, "It was great talking with you all. I need to head out, but hopefully I'll see you again soon." Or, "I should get going, but this was really fun. Thanks for letting me join." If you've connected particularly well with someone in the group, you might add, "Hey, before I go, could I get your number? I'd love to continue our conversation about hiking sometime." Deepening friendships over time. As friendships develop, the phrases you use should evolve too. Americans value authenticity in closer friendships, so you can be more direct and personal. Phrases like, "I really value our friendship," or "I'm so glad we met," might feel too forward in some cultures, but Americans often appreciate direct expressions of friendship. Sharing vulnerabilities appropriately is part of deepening friendships in America. Phrases like, "Can I be honest with you about something?" Or, "I could really use a friend's perspective on this," signal that you trust someone enough to share something more personal. Of course, gauge the appropriate level of sharing based on how long you've known someone and the context of your friendship. Americans also bond through shared activities and creating memories together. Phrases like, "Want to make this a regular thing?" "After a successful coffee meetup," or "We should plan a road trip sometime," show that you're interested in building a friendship over time. The key is to balance enthusiasm with respect for the other person's schedule and commitments. Handling rejection and misunderstandings. Not every attempt at friendship will work out, and that's okay. Americans generally try to be polite when they're not interested in pursuing a friendship, but the signals can be subtle. If someone consistently says they're busy without suggesting alternative times, or if they're friendly in person but don't respond to messages, they might not be interested in a closer friendship. The phrase, "No worries, maybe another time," is your friend here. It keeps things light and doesn't create awkwardness. Cultural misunderstandings happen, and addressing them directly but kindly is usually the best approach. Phrases like, "I think there might have been a miscommunication. What I meant was," or, "I'm still learning about American culture. Did I say something inappropriate?" show that you're willing to learn and adapt. Most Americans will appreciate your honesty and effort to understand. Digital communication and friendship. In today's world, a lot of friendship maintenance happens through text messages and social media. Americans tend to be casual in digital communication, but there are still some unwritten rules. When texting a new friend, keep initial messages light and easy to respond to. "Hey, just saw a poster for that concert we talked about. You still interested?" is better than a long paragraph about your day. Americans often use humor and memes in digital communication to maintain friendships. Sending a funny video with, "This reminded me of our conversation yesterday," or sharing an article with, "Thought you might find this interesting based on what you said about sustainable living," shows you're thinking of them without being demanding of time or attention. Response time expectations in American digital culture can be tricky. While some people respond immediately, others might take days. Don't take delayed responses personally. A follow-up after a few days is fine. Something like, "Hey, just wanted to make sure my last message went through." No pressure to respond if you're busy. This shows you're considerate of their time while still maintaining the connection. Maintaining long-distance friendships. America is a big country, and people move around a lot. Learning to maintain friendships across distances is a valuable skill. Regular check-ins don't have to be long or complicated. A simple, "Thinking of you. How's the new job going?" or, "Just drove past that restaurant we used to go to." "Miss hanging out," keeps the connection alive without requiring a lengthy response. Video calls can help maintain closer friendships across distances. When suggesting a video chat, be specific about timing and duration. "Want to do a quick 30-minute catch-up call this Sunday afternoon?" is less daunting than an open-ended video chat request. Americans appreciate when you respect their time while still making an effort to stay connected. Cultural events and friendship. Building America's diversity means there are countless cultural events and festivals where you can meet people with shared interests. When attending these events, phrases like, "Is this your first time at the festival?" or, "What's been your favorite part so far?" work well. These questions are open-ended enough to start a conversation, but specific enough to be easy to answer. Volunteering is another excellent way to meet like-minded people in America. When working alongside other volunteers, phrases like, "Thanks for showing me the ropes," or, "You seem really experienced at this. How long have you been volunteering here?" Acknowledge others' expertise while opening the door for conversation. Americans respect people who contribute to their communities, and volunteering provides natural conversation starters and shared experiences. Professional networking vs. personal friendships. It's important to understand the distinction between professional networking and personal ships in American culture. While the two can overlap, the approaches and phrases used might differ. In professional settings, phrases like, "I'd love to hear more about your work in marketing. Could we grab coffee sometime?" signal professional interest. For personal friendships, you might say, "It would be fun to hang out outside of work sometime. Do you ever go to trivia nights?" Americans generally appreciate when you're clear about your intentions. If you're interested in friendship, rather than professional networking, phrases like, "It's nice to meet someone I actually want to hang out with, not just network with," can help clarify your intentions in a light, hearted way. Seasonal and holiday friendships. American holidays and seasons provide excellent opportunities for friendship building. During the summer, phrases like, "Are you doing anything fun for the 4th of July?" or "Want to check out the farmer's market this Saturday?" tap into seasonal activities. In winter, "Want to grab some hot chocolate and check out the holiday lights?" or "I'm having a few people over for a casual holiday party. Would you like to come?" Create opportunities for connection. Understanding American holiday traditions can help you connect with people. Phrases like, "I'm still learning about Thanksgiving traditions. What does your family usually do?" or "This is my first American Halloween. Any advice on costumes?" position you as someone interested in learning about and participating in American culture while creating opportunities for others to share their experiences and potentially include you in their celebrations. The art of being a good friend in America. Being a good friend in American culture involves a balance of being supportive without being overbearing. When a friend shares good news, enthusiastic responses like, "That's amazing! I'm so happy for you!" or "You totally deserve this! We should celebrate," are appreciated. When they share challenges, phrases like, "That sounds really tough. How can I support you?" or "I'm here if you need to talk or just want a distraction," show you care without trying to fix everything. Americans value friends who remember important events. Phrases like, "Good luck on your interview tomorrow. You're going to crush it." or "How did your mom's surgery go? I've been thinking about you." Show that you're paying attention to their life. These small gestures of remembrance and support go a long way in building strong friendships. Navigating conflicts in friendships. Even the best friendships sometimes face conflicts. Americans generally prefer direct but respectful communication when addressing issues. Phrases like, "Hey, can we talk about what happened yesterday? I feel like there might have been a misunderstanding." or "I value our friendship and want to make sure we're okay. Can we chat?" open the door for resolution without being confrontational. When apologizing, Americans appreciate sincerity and specificity. "I'm sorry I canceled our plans last minute. I know that was inconsiderate, and I should have given you more notice," is better than a vague, "Sorry about that." Taking responsibility and showing you understand the impact of your actions helps rebuild trust in friendships. Building a social circle. Creating a broader social circle in America often happens organically as you meet friends of friends. When being introduced to someone new through a mutual friend, phrases like, "Sarah's told me so much about you," or "I've heard you're really into rock climbing. I've been wanting to try that," help establish an immediate connection. Americans are generally open to expanding their social circles, especially when there's a mutual connection. Hosting gatherings, even small ones, can help solidify your place in a social circle. "I'm having a few people over for game night on Friday. Nothing fancy, just fun and snacks. Want to come? Or, I'm trying out a new recipe this weekend and could use some guinea pigs. Interested in coming over for dinner? These invitations show you're willing to put effort into friendships and create spaces for people to connect. Understanding American humor in friendships. Humor plays a huge role in American friendships, but it can be culturally specific. Self-deprecating humor is common and can be a way to bond. Phrases like, "Well, that was smooth of me," after a minor mistake, or "I'm basically a professional at getting lost." It's a talent, really. Show you don't take yourself too seriously. However, be careful not to be too negative about yourself, as Americans also value confidence. Playful teasing among friends is common in America, but it should always be good, natured, and reciprocal. If someone teases you about always being late, you might respond with, "Says the person who thinks on time," means 15 minutes late. The key is keeping it light and being able to laugh at yourself while also giving as good as you get. Long-term friendship maintenance. As friendships mature, they require different types of maintenance. Americans often struggle with maintaining friendships as life gets busy. So being someone who makes an effort stands out. Phrases like, "I know we're both swamped, but I miss hanging out." Want to put something on the calendar for next month. Acknowledge the reality of busy lives while prioritizing the friendship. Creating traditions with friends can help maintain long-term connections. Want to make our coffee dates a monthly thing? Or, should we start a book club? Just the two of us. These suggestions create structure that helps friendships survive busy periods. Americans appreciate friends who take initiative in maintaining relationships rather than always waiting for others to reach out. Remember that American friendships can ebb and flow with life circumstances. Phrases like, "I know we haven't talked in a while, but I wanted you to know I'm thinking of you." Or, "Life's been crazy, but you're still important to me," help bridge gaps that naturally occur. Americans generally understand that friendship doesn't require constant contact, but they appreciate reminders that the connection still matters. Regional differences in American social culture. It's worth noting that social culture can vary significantly across different regions of America. In the South, you might encounter more formal politeness and phrases like, "Y'all come back now," or "Bless your heart," which can have multiple meanings depending on context. Southern hospitality is real, but it doesn't always translate to deep friendship immediately. Take your time and enjoy the warmth while being patient about developing closer connections. In the Northeast, particularly in cities like New York or Boston, interactions might seem more brusque initially. Don't be put off by this. Phrases like, "Sorry to bother you," but might be met with direct responses, but that doesn't mean people are unfriendly. Once you break through the initial reserve, Northeasterners can be incredibly loyal friends. The key is persistence without being pushy. The West Coast, particularly California, has a reputation for being laid back and friendly. You might hear phrases like, "We should totally hang out," more frequently, but follow through can sometimes be lacking. Don't take it personally. Instead, be the person who follows up with concrete plans. "Hey, you mentioned wanting to check out that new brewery. How about this Saturday afternoon?" The Midwest is known for its genuine friendliness. Phrases like, "Oh, you betcha," or "Don't che no," might sound quirky, but they're part of the regional charm. Midwesterners often value community and helping others. So phrases like, "Let me know if you need anything," are usually genuine offers. Take people up on these offers when appropriate. It's not seen as taking advantage, but as building community. Special considerations for international perspectives. If you're coming from a culture where friendships develop differently, it's important to adjust your expectations while staying true to yourself. American friendships might feel surface, level at first compared to what you're used to, but that doesn't mean they can't become deep and meaningful. Give relationships time to develop while appreciating the immediate warmth and openness that many Americans offer. Don't be afraid to share your own cultural perspective on friendship. Phrases like, "In my culture, we show friendship by toe," or "Where I'm from," friends typically can lead to fascinating conversations and help Americans understand your approach to friendship. Many Americans are genuinely curious about other cultures and appreciate learning about different perspectives. If you're more comfortable with formal relationships initially, that's okay too. You can say things like, "I tend to be a bit reserved at first, but I really enjoy getting to know people over time." Or, "In my culture, we take friendship very seriously, so I might seem a bit formal initially." Most Americans will respect your approach and appreciate your honesty about cultural differences. The role of food in American friendships. Food plays a significant role in American social culture. Sharing meals is a common way to build and maintain friendships. Phrases like, "Want to grab lunch?" or "There's this great new restaurant I've been dying to try. Interested in checking it out together?" are standard friendship building tools. Americans often bond over trying new cuisines or sharing favorite spots. Potlucks are a uniquely American way of socializing that you might encounter. When invited to one, asking, "What can I bring?" shows you understand the concept and want to contribute. If you're unsure what to make, phrases like, "I'd love to bring something from my culture. Do you think people would enjoy?" can be a great way to share your background while participating in American social customs. Coffee culture is huge in America, and "grabbing coffee" is often code for, "Let's chat and get to know each other better." It's a low-commitment way to spend time together. Phrases like, "I could use a caffeine fix. Want to join me?" or "I've got an hour to kill before my next appointment." Coffee. Create casual opportunities for connection. Building friendships through shared interests. Americans often build friendships around shared hobbies and interests. Finding your tribe based on what you love to do can be easier than trying to make friends in general social settings. If you're into fitness, phrases like, "I'm looking for a workout buddy. Would you be interested?" or "I heard about this hiking group that meets on weekends. Want to check it out together?" can lead to natural friendships. Book clubs, sports leagues, hobby groups, and classes are all excellent venues for meeting like-minded people. When joining these groups, phrases like, "I'm new to this. Any tips for a beginner?" or "How long have you been coming to these meetings?" help you integrate into established groups. Americans generally appreciate newcomers who show genuine interest in learning and participating. Don't be afraid to start your own group if you can't find one that matches your interests. "I'm thinking of starting a monthly board game night. Would you be interested?" or "I want to practice my photography with others. Know anyone who might want to join?" These initiatives show leadership and create opportunities for others who might be looking for the same type of connection. The importance of boundaries in American friendships, understanding and respecting boundaries is crucial in American friendships. Americans value their personal space and time, so phrases that acknowledge this are important. I know you're busy, so just let me know what works for your schedule. Or, no pressure if you're not feeling up to it. Show that you respect their autonomy while still expressing interest in spending time together. When sharing personal information, Americans often appreciate a gradual approach. Testing the waters with phrases like, "Can I share something personal with you?" Or, "I hope this isn't too much information," but gives the other person a chance to set boundaries if needed. Similarly, if someone shares something personal with you, responding with, "Thank you for trusting me with this," shows you understand the significance of their sharing. Learning to say no gracefully is also part of maintaining healthy friendships in America. Phrases like, "I'd love to, but I'm overcommitted this week. Can we rain check?" Or, "That sounds fun, but it's not really my thing. Hope you have a great time though." Maintain the friendship while being honest about your limits. Americans generally respect people who can set clear boundaries. Navigating social media and modern friendship. In today's digital age, social media plays a significant role in American friendships. Understanding the unwritten rules of online interaction can help you maintain and build friendships. Commenting on friends' posts with supportive phrases like, "This is amazing! So happy for you," or "You look great, miss seeing you," helps maintain connections even when you can't meet in person. However, be mindful of oversharing or commenting too frequently on someone's posts if you're still building the friendship. A good rule of thumb is to match their level of online interaction. If they occasionally like your posts, do the same. If they comment regularly, feel free to engage more actively. Phrases like, "Saw your post about hiking. Would love to join you sometime," can move online connections into real-world friendships. Private messages should be used thoughtfully, starting with something specific like, "Hey, your post about that concert reminded me I wanted to ask if you're going to the music festival next month," is better than a generic, "Hey, what's up?" Americans appreciate messages that have a clear purpose or connection to something specific. Creating inclusive friendships. America's diversity means you'll likely build friendships with people from many different backgrounds. Being inclusive and open-minded is valued. Phrases like, "I'd love to learn more about your culture," or "Tell me about your traditions," show genuine interest without making assumptions. When planning group activities, asking, "Is everyone comfortable with this plan?" Or, "Does anyone have dietary restrictions I should know about?" demonstrates consideration for others. If you make a cultural mistake, addressing it directly is usually best. "I realize I may have said something insensitive. I'm still learning, and I appreciate your patience." Or, "Please let me know if I ever say or do something that makes you uncomfortable." Shows you're willing to learn and grow. Most Americans appreciate this kind of openness and honesty. The evolution of friendship in different life stages. American friendships often evolve as people go through different life stages. College friendships might be intense and involve spending lots of time together, while adult friendships often require more intentional effort. Phrases like, I know we can't hang out like we used to in college, but I still value our friendship. Acknowledge these changes while maintaining connection. As friends enter different life stages, marriage, parenthood, career changes, being supportive and flexible is key. I know your priorities have changed with the new baby, but I'm here however you need me. Or, congrats on the promotion. I know you'll be busier, but let's still try to catch up when we can. Show understanding while keeping the door open for continued friendship. Conclusion. Your friendship journey in America. Making friends in America is both an art and a science. It requires understanding cultural nuances, having the right phrases at your disposal, and most importantly, being genuinely interested in connecting with others. The phrases I've shared today are tools, but the real magic happens when you use them authentically to build real connections. Remember, every friendship starts with a single conversation. That person sitting next to you at the coffee shop, the colleague you pass in the hallway, or the neighbor you wave to, any of them could become a lifelong friend. The key is being open to possibilities and having the courage to take that first step. American friendships might develop differently than what you're used to, but they can be just as meaningful and lasting. Be patient with yourself as you navigate this new social landscape. Not every interaction will lead to friendship, and that's perfectly normal. What matters is that you keep trying, keep learning, and stay open to the amazing connections that await you. I hope these phrases and insights give you the confidence to put yourself out there and start building your social circle in America. Remember, most Americans are friendly and open to making new friends. They're just waiting for someone like you to start the conversation. Before we wrap up, I'm curious, what's been your biggest challenge in making friends in an English-speaking environment? If you're American, what advice would you give to someone new to our social culture? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I love hearing about your experiences and learning from all of you. Thank you so much for joining me today on English Unleashed. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more practical English content. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll be tackling another aspect of mastering English in real-world situations. Until then, get out there and start making those connections. Remember, your next best friend might be just a conversation away. This is Ben, signing off. Keep unleashing your English potential!